Sentry baseball merchandise is available now. Click the link in the description to get yours today. All right, what's good, boys? Welcome on in. Today we're starting a new exercise, which we did for one team last year. The Philadelphia Phillies. We're going to be predicting their lineup, rotation, etc. We're going to be doing this one team a week, and all the other teams will be coming out on YouTube Shorts, so make sure you guys are subscribed to the Clips channel so you don't miss out on that. That being said, you're going to get a whole video for one team a week, normally like the division winner of each team, but in this case, I'm a Phillies fan, so we're doing the Phillies in the long form. So you can see here we have a tier list pulled up, so 1 through 9, then I got the rotation, and then I have the bullpen, and I'm going to put the bench players in the same tier just because I wanted to make it a little more aesthetically pleasing. So we can start at the top. We're going to start with the leadoff. Now, this is kind of more going to be like, what would I do? I'm going to give you both what would I do as well as what I think is actually going to happen. I don't know if there's any debating anymore. I think Trey Turner slots back in the 1 for this team. I think after what we saw last year, late in the year, they see that he's starting to get back into that on-base of a method. Kyle Schwarber, I don't know if they want him in the leadoff anymore. You got to start thinking about more of like a 162 game type thing. Trey Turner is what makes the most sense for that. With that being said, in the 2, I am not going with Kyle Schwarber. I think it only makes sense that Bryson Stott slides in the 2. You can flip them, you can do whatever you want. It doesn't really matter to me. 2 guys at the top, both with speed potential as well. Bryson Stott is turning into a very good young ball player. I like him in the 2. Now, this is kind of going to more depend on the day. I think Bryson, the 3 is what makes the most sense right now. The 4... not really. I don't like the 4. Bryson, the 3, he's your most complete hitter on your team. However, in the cleanup, this is where it's gonna be a dependent on the day. Sorry, I've got to scroll down here a little bit. Schwarber in the 4 is what makes the most sense. He's your power guy. He still gets on base pretty well. I honestly expect that his numbers might even be a little bit better this year, especially in the batting average department. In the 5, for now, I'm gonna go with Nick. I think that there's a lot of different ways you can go right there. Bohm, Real Muto, both make sense. Heck, if you want to argue Brandon Marsh, I'm not going to argue against you. Nick in the 5 does make sense. 5 or 6 kind of, he's in that RBI spot. Alec Boehm's turning into a great player. I don't like him in the 6. I like him more in the 7, 4, 5, or 7. 6 seems more like the Real Muto spot for now until he shows that he's better. Last year was not a great year for him. If he shows he's going to bounce back, move him up to the 5, maybe even into the 2. Move Stott down, it depends. Bohm in the 7 makes sense for now. You could flip him and Stott, to be honest, probably depending on the day, which is so weird to think about because Marsh is going to end up sitting in the 8. But he had such a good year last year. Honestly, he should be higher. Johan Rojas is obviously going to be in the 9. So if you look at it as a whole, Turner, Stott, Harper, Schwarber, Castellanos, Realmuto, Bohm, Marsh, Rojas is the order that makes the most sense in Rob Thompson's eyes. This is probably what they're going to start the year. If it ends up going badly again, you're probably going to see the typical Schwarber move up to here, Turner into the 2, Harper stays 3, you probably go 4, and then you've got something like this. Maybe even like this. This is kind of like the panic lineup. Let's get to what I would do. What would I do with this lineup? Turner is my leadoff hitter. I am putting Stott into the 2. However, I would flip these 2 every once in a while. Harper is my 3. I would probably go Castellanos as my 4. Schwarber in my 5. I would go Marsh in my 6, Bohm 7, Realmuto in the 8, which is weird. I know it's very low. Rojas in the 9. This is how I would construct the Phillies lineup. You still kind of have them grouped together is the only problem. You go righty, lefty, lefty, righty, lefty, lefty, righty, righty, righty. So you have groups together, and that's the one thing that they don't like to do. They're kind of platoon proof. So the only other option is if you want to keep that going, lefty, righty, lefty, righty, lefty. You flip them. That's probably about as platoon proof as you're going to get. And that's not even that bad. I think that this is probably a lineup you're probably going to see at some point this year. So that's what I would do. So let's scroll down to the rotation now. Wheeler's the ace for now. He's going to be there. Nola, he makes the 1-2 punch. For right now, since he's not traded, Taiwan has to be there. He's getting paid too much money. He's an innings eater. He gave him innings last year. They weren't great for the price, but whatever. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. Ranger Suarez is not on this list. Ranger is in the 3. Christopher Sanchez is probably our 5 right now. It makes me very sad that Ranger Suarez is not on this list. I don't really know why. Rhys Hoskins is Ranger Suarez for now. That's your 1 through 5. If they stretch it to a 6-man, they have to get somebody new. They're going to have to probably re-sign a guy like Lorenzen or something like that, but we're not for this exercise. In the pen, Covey is back this year. Covey actually ended up having a better last part of his year. He had that one terrible start in Atlanta, we know. Alvarado, Sir Anthony are obvious ones. Those are your two guys. Orion Kirkering obviously slots into this. Jeff Hoffman is here now too. For right now, those are your 5 bullpen kind of your pieces now. You've got the Brogdon down in the minors as well. Bilotti is there too. Bilotti's been pretty decent the last couple of years. Up and down last year, but I wonder what they're going to do with him. They probably need to bring in another reliever. Greg Soto also not on this list. This list is not ideal, but Greg Soto is obviously in there as well. So for right now, that's what the rotations look like if Rhys Hoskins were to be Ranger Suarez. And this is kind of what the bullpen is now plus Gregory Soto. The bench is obviously going to have Stubbs. It's probably going to have Rodolfo Castro, and Derek Hall is probably going to be the last one. As of right now, that's kind of just how it is. Edmundo Sosa obviously as well. So a group of 3 of these guys is probably going to be there. And I would assume it's probably going to be Hall over Rodolfo if it's just going to be 3 of them, because Rodolfo and Edmundo Sosa kind of serve the same purpose, and Edmundo was better last year. So anyways, that's what I see happening with this Phillies lineup this year. Subscribe if you enjoyed. Peace.